If you want to know what it takes to be a millionaire, study their habits.
They say if you change your habits, you change your life. In this video, we're sharing the millionaire habits that changed our lives.
What's up, Legacy Builders? I'm Rob.
I'm Reshawn. And this is Learn, Hustle, Grow.
She's a stock trader.
He's a realtor.
And we are debt-free investors. If you've been following our story, then you know that at the end of 2018, we left our W-2 jobs, and in 2019, we traveled the world.
We focused on long-term investing in both real estate and the stock market in order to achieve financial independence. On this channel, we're sharing our version of life after corporate America.
All right, guys, since we're covering 10 habits, let's just get straight to it. Number 1, don't follow the herd / the Joneses. So first of all, we know that Joneses exist, right? In neighborhoods, friends, whatever, right? So people love to buy cars because, I mean, I can't tell you how many Teslas are floating around our neighborhood after we saw one Tesla come in the neighborhood, right?
And I'm thinking about a Tesla.
Yeah, I would love one. I would love one. But the thing is, once you see something, it's like how they say, out of sight, out of mind, reverse happens, right? If you see it, then you're always thinking about it. Another thing, what's another Jones, babe? Like, oh, houses. Like some people, you know, their friends or family.
Want the bigger house.
Yep. I know I have a client, and she had a client, and she said that she lives in a nice house, nice neighborhood or whatever. But what she wanted was what her sister had. Her sister has she did a remodel, a bigger house, but they remodeled it over time, and now she wants a bigger, newer house. She's like, oh, I gotta have a better house than my sister.
Yeah.
So,
and that can be a tough one, right? The rule is that millionaires don't keep up with the Joneses, right? Millionaires don't follow other people in what they're doing. So that was one thing that really helped us and changed our lives.
Yep.
When we first got married, everybody said, oh, are you guys getting a newer, bigger house? But we knew that that wouldn't serve us long-term financially. We also knew that that was a pretty stressful thing to jump into in our first year of marriage. So we slowed down and took a step back and thought about what our long-term goals were versus what everybody else expected us to do.
Yep. And one last thing about that, what people don't remember is the more you get, the more you have to maintain, right? And that's even making you more broke, right? So,
So number 2, as far as millionaire habits that changed our lives, is being intentional with money.
Yes.
Right. And for us, that means that we plan things.
Yeah.
We actually still review our spending. We know where our money is going. We tell our money what to do. There's never a time in which we are shocked by an expense.
Right.
And that was huge for us because it allowed us to see the big picture of what we could accomplish once we understood what we had and where it was going. And anytime we had a bonus coming in or some kind of extra money, we would actually put that in the spreadsheet and sit down and talk about it.
Right.
What is it that we like to accomplish with this money?
Yep. And we got a rule. We don't spend more than $100 without consulting the other person. So if we got $100 or below, it's fine. But once we start getting to the, $200, $300, $500, then we got to have a conversation about it before we go spending that money, right? So
yeah, and that's different in every household.
Yeah.
You may need $500 to spend on a purse if you consider that to be a need, or $500 to spend on a game console. That's up to you to determine. But for us in our household, that was something critical that allowed us to better get our arms around our shared finances. Before we go any further, why don't you guys be intentional about your support for this channel and hit the like and subscribe.
Number 3, hang out with successful people. We try our best to hang out with people that we want to mimic, or we want to be like, or we want to, reach those type of goals, right? So
really people with a growth mindset, right? People who are interested in moving forward.
Right. They say that you are the average of the main 5 people you hang out with, right? I heard that quote somewhere before. And we just try to be intentional about that. We try to make sure that we have the same type of thinking. We're all moving forward. We all, patting each other on the back and stuff like that, right? And we also go to conferences. We love our conferences. We're trying to go to more and more of those, as the years go by. They're popping up like hotcakes.
They're great for inspiration, right?
Yes.
Sometimes you can get in a slump regarding what you're doing.
Yeah.
But those kind of events really help out with that.
Yep.
And then online Facebook groups, we're in a number of those.
Yep.
But you're always getting new ideas, right? Crowdsourcing is a huge opportunity to learn from others, to hear what other people are doing. And sometimes there are things that come up that you may have never even thought of, or sometimes things that you forget about.
Yep. And sometimes we also go to meetups, like if we have local meetups with like-minded people. And sometimes we just do video calls with, friends that we haven't seen in a while, just to see where they're at and, tell them where we're at. So those type of things.
And if you're looking for face-to-face meetups, it's probably a good idea to start in those Facebook groups that are focused on the same things you are, and see if there are people in your area who might be interested in connecting in person.
Indeed.
Number 4, millionaires minimize their tax burden. Guys, this is huge once you get to a certain place.
Yes.
And honestly, even when you are starting, initially I prepared our taxes on my own at home using TurboTax.
Yes.
It's an excellent tool. However, as we started to get more real estate assets, I made a mistake early on. And the IRS contacted us with a letter saying you owe, $10,000.
Good Lord.
I thought, oh my God, this can't be right.
Right.
And I realized then that it was time maybe to hire a CPA. But also what I did was I went back and amended the tax return. When the IRS sends you a bill saying you owe, they are giving a rough estimate based on the mistake that they believe you made. It doesn't mean that's what you owe. You can actually submit an amended return, which could change the amount significantly. In this case, it went from $10,000 down to $7,000. We still owed a lot of money, but that's a $3,000 difference.
Right.
And I will take that any day. So just remember that if you are really focused on maximizing your wealth, you have to pay attention to IRS.gov and paying your taxes properly. So I mentioned IRS.gov because even though we have a CPA, in the end, we are still responsible for our tax return.
Yep.
The federal government says even if you pay a professional, the penalties for an incorrect return or fraudulent returns falls on you as the individual. Knowing that, I always make sure that I review IRS.gov and to cover, just to try to make sure that we are covered as far as accuracy in the return, and to make sure we don't miss out on any deductions.
Yeah.
I will go through an entire list for self-employed individuals to make sure that our CPA has included every possible deduction.
Yep. And we keep all those receipts, anything we can think about, anything we can think of as far as business, right? When we travel, just receipts in general, gas, everything, because you never know. Maybe he might just not, he might miss something, and we can bring it up and see, hey, what do you think? Can we, deduct this? So.
Yeah, the more receipts and documentation you have, the easier it is for your CPA to get you the greatest amount of deductions. So because we travel to conferences to talk about personal finance and real estate, those events become tax deductions for our business. Also, we are looking at donations, right?
Yes.
We have always been givers, and as givers, we make sure that we include that as well. So that's the tip. Millionaires maximize tax deductions.
Yes. Number 5 millionaire habit is always be reading, learning, seeking, right? So we are huge audiobook fans. Like we go back and forth. We jump back and forth. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, maybe we should get rid of the audiobook. Yeah, the audiobook app or whatever, because we got so many podcasts, right? Then we flip flop back and forth. So it's like, we just can't get rid of it, right? Every month we're either, reading or listening to a podcast, or a new podcast, or a new book, something. So,
I find that even while I am studying the market, I use the iHeartRadio app in order to listen to our podcast from the television. So now it's like having, the radio playing in the background.
Yep.
So the importance of this message is, or this habit, is just that you never stop learning.
Yep.
And you take advantage of opportunities to learn from others.
Yes.
I mean, there's never a point in which we're going to know everything about anything.
And every time we think that we found it all, we go to a conference or something, and there's tons and tons of bloggers with websites of new information, or information looking at it in a different perspective, right? So blogs too.
Yep. So you have to be seeking that out if you want to get better at anything.
Yes, always be learning.
Habit number 6. Millionaires invest. This was huge for Rob and I.
Yes.
Investing changed our lives.
Right.
We shared earlier on that we've invested in both real estate and the stock market, and we will always continue to do so. And that's how we landed in what we do to bring in an income today.
Yep.
Real estate and the stock market have consistently helped us to grow our net worth. Rob's a full-time realtor in addition to us being investors, and I am a stock trader for regular income.
Right.
Saving money just isn't enough. It's an admirable goal to save money. However, if you want to be a millionaire and build generational wealth, it's important to learn to invest, even if it's not just for you, but for the purpose of handing down that habit to future generations.
Yes. We used to have, the mindset of, hey, we have a high-end job, a great job. And, that was enough for me at first. But they say you'll never get rich off of a high-end job. I mean, if that high-end job goes away, you get hurt, you get sick, someone in your family gets hurt or sick. Even if you make the money and you're not hurt or sick, but you got to take care of your spouse, I mean, that's going to go away, right? So you definitely got to invest. That way, when you have to step away, then those things are still growing and making money, right?
And if you don't have the money to invest right now, start by investing in yourself. Continue to grow as far as your education is concerned. Whatever it is you want to learn, there is a course for that.
Indeed. The number 7 millionaire habit is prioritize your health. We believe that you should exercise. You should try to get some good sleep. We do these things daily, right?
Rob is big on his sleep, y'all. Go to bed every night around the same time.
On the dime.
And wakes up every day around the same time.
And what's funny is she tries to keep me up by, she'll go into the bathroom and try to talk while she's, taking off her makeup or whatever.
Me before he goes to sleep.
And I lay down, and guys, I'm down in 5
minutes.
I mean, it's amazing. It's a beautiful gift. That's what it is, a gift.
You can see we're excited about sleep.
I'm like, oh yeah, it's my favorite time of the day, but or night. But you gotta take it. Like, I get up every morning and I go to the gym, except on my days off. I go 5 days a week now, which is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, and I feel great. I feel energized. And like I said, and of course, like we said about the sleep, right? But because if you don't take care of yourself, you're going to end up with medical bills, and which makes you even more poor, right? Because you got to pay for the medication, you got to pay for the medical bills, all those type of things, right? And
I have a perfect example of that. Now, I work out here at home. I use YouTube. Yay. I got HasFit. I got Mr. and Mrs. Muscle. I've got The Body Project. Those are just a couple of the channels I use in order to switch up my workout. But 4 years ago, this month, I was actually scheduled for back surgery, y'all. And I was just in so much pain because I had an inflamed, bulging disc. And it just there didn't seem to be any other way to address it other than surgery. And the doctor was supportive if that's what I wanted to do. Now, we delayed that surgery because we had a wedding in the family, one that I could not miss. And that's how I know it was 4 years ago, because of the anniversary. And so in the meantime, I got a steroid shot to hold me over. After that, Rob had been doing some research and found that a recumbent bike might serve as physical therapy for somebody who had back problems. The recumbent bike was a big help. And I just started to try to get more into exercising regularly. And once I did this, it was such a huge change that I no longer needed to have the surgery. When I say I was ready to have surgery, guys, I was walking with a cane in my 40s.
Days away,
And it felt horrible to be in my 40s with a cane. And when I did not get that surgery, I found out I had a blood clot in one of my legs. All of that was from lack of mobility.
Right.
Y'all, we have to move our bodies. Health is wealth. And today I make sure that I get in 30 minutes of exercise at least 3 to 5 days a week in order to make sure that I'm staying on top of that.
Yep. Just remember, if your health is not intact, then it doesn't matter how much money you have. Because you can be dead and gone, and your money will just be passed on to someone else, I guess, if that matters to you. But your health is your wealth, right?
Millionaire habit number 8, give generously. Even when we were paying off our debt, we never stopped tithing. As believers, we believe that first 10% belongs to God, and in our case, to our church. We also donate to others, other organizations that support those in need.
Yes.
We give gifts to family members or friends. We never loan money.
No.
Because loaning money to family and friends can definitely do damage to a relationship.
Yep.
So if we can't afford the amount, then we simply offer an amount that we can afford. But those are the things that we feel are important as far as sharing with others from a monetary perspective, keeping up with our donations and giving as needed when it makes sense.
Yes. I think you covered it.
All right.
Number 9, millionaire habit is never give up. Sometimes, guys, we just want to quit. Trust me, I understand. Why are you laughing?
Not me. I'm not a quitter.
Well, yeah, you got to quit. Sometimes you have to quit certain things. But if you really have a goal in life, you got to stay strong. You got to keep pushing, even if you just inch. They used to say in the Marine Corps when we used to run, I mean, because it hurt so bad after running 10 miles, they would say, even if you're not running, at least just try. Just try. Don't stop. So, and that's the thing. I try to keep that same mindset these days. You know what I'm saying? I remember I always wanted to be a real estate investor. I was saying, I'm going to be a mogul. I'm going to be a mogul when I was in college, right? And it just seemed like I would never get there. But I always did little things, to try to move myself forward. Like, just read Susie Orman, talk to people who had the passion to do it or whatever. And I felt like maybe, one day I'll get there, if I just keep on thinking about it and keep it in the back of my mind, right?
Yeah, when I hear never give up, I do think about Rob in his desire to be a real estate mogul. He will interview anybody at any time. If he sees you doing something that's of interest to him, and he has awesome stories about interviewing people that he used to just meet who he thought looked successful based on their home or their car, he would just stop and ask them, hey, what are you doing? How did you get there?
Yep.
And I love that drive. And to this day, he is still looking for ways for us to earn income, bring in money without doing anything at all. That is his ultimate goal, really, is to find ways to bring money in that require no work or effort from us. Now, we're still working on that. Honestly, he's still working on that. I look forward to him revealing that opportunity to me.
Just stay strong, keep pushing. Just, call your friends. Same thing we mentioned earlier. And just stay motivated, and you will get to where you're trying to be.
All right. Millionaire habit number 10 is helping others.
Yes.
One of the reasons we started this YouTube channel was to share our story in a way that would help others and motivate others to see what could be done. And, we were led to this because we found so many free resources in our own research.
Yes.
While we were listening to podcasts and, reading online forums, those were individuals who had learned something and then put it out there in the world for us to learn for free.
Yeah, we couldn't believe it.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons we do YouTube, right? It's because we're sharing what we have learned for free in hopes that it helps others to reach and achieve their goals.
Yep.
One of the other ways that we've chosen to help others is that we give podcast interviews.
Right.
So when you hear us tell our story on a podcast, there's nothing in it for us outside of the fact that other people might be inspired by it, and it might help that podcaster to grow their channel.
Right.
Then we are really diligent about giving of our time when it comes to volunteering. Right. For example, I volunteer at our church in the budget ministry.
Yes.
That's something that I didn't feel like I had much time to do when I was working in corporate, but since we left our corporate jobs, I've been able to do that, and I really enjoy it.
Yep. And we always try our best to pass on our knowledge, especially to the people closest to us and our family. And we try to teach them the way of the things that we already know, we've been through, on, how they can get better at what they're doing. So we definitely want to do that. So,
Yeah. So that's millionaire habit number 10.
Yes.
Helping others.
are these habits helpful? Tell us what we have in common. Which millionaire habits do you follow?
We still have plenty of room for growth, but we are happy with our progress.
Yes.
Let us know you're out there. Drop a comment below.
See you in the next video.